Hey everybody, Shelby here from American Chess Equipment again, and I'm getting ready for the Amateur Team East. And one of the things that people always have trouble with is they get to a tournament and they realize, I haven't played in a couple years. Where's all my stuff? And even worse, if they do have their stuff, like a clock, it's not working. So I'm going to go through exactly what you're supposed to do. Follow these steps. Step number 1. Find your chess set and board, set it up completely. Make sure all the pieces are there with your extra queens. If you have a weighted set, see if they rattle. If they rattle, you at least have time to be able to peel off the felts and use a two-part epoxy to bind the metal to the plastic and then put the felts back on so you don't have a rattling chess set when you get there. The next thing you do is go find your chess clock. Because what most people don't realize is a chess clock, with the batteries in it, you can have a lot of problems. Batteries do what's called salting out. Let me show you what I mean. Now I gotta be honest with you, this isn't my chess clock because I take care of my stuff. But this is a prime example on what happens when you store a chess clock with the batteries in for an extended period of time and you don't take care of it. Let's open this up. No, you open it up. Looks like the Wood Expressions version of the DGT North American. All we did was change the color of the case, change the color of the rocker arm, and change the color of the buttons. Now, let's turn this over. You see this crap right here? That is salting. That's what happens when your batteries are left in the clock too long without it being used. So let's turn this over and open this up so I can show you exactly what I mean. It's pretty gross. You see this? A lot of people would see this and go, oh my God, I put Duracells in there. How can it do that? Doesn't matter if they're Duracells, doesn't matter if they're Sylvanias or whatever kind of batteries you put in. All batteries have the capability of salting out. It's pretty gross. No, it's not frosting. You don't want to lick it. You don't want to put it in your face. It's not going to hurt you. You know, it's relatively not bad for you. But what happens is it corrodes the metal parts. So what you got to do, bang it out. Now, if you see, there's some crap built up. There's a little trick on how to take care of it. The main thing you use to get the corrosion off the metal and to clean out all the salting, what I use is Coca-Cola. Yes, it is the perfect drink on a really hot summer day. I mean, heck, I have 2 or 3 Cokes every day. Probably not the best for me, especially most people don't realize the chemical coloring that they use to make Coca-Cola the color that it is actually can take rust off of metal, and it will take corrosion and salting out of a chess clock. All you do, take a piece of paper towel, fold it over a couple times, get it wet. You would think, ew, gross. But all you do is get the Coca-Cola in there. Make sure you get all that salting out. You don't want to see any salt left on there. You want to get to the metal pieces, rub those down really well, and also rub this one down really well to make sure you have no corrosion there. After you're sure everything is out, I dry it off. And then what I do is I get a paper towel, get regular water, and then you rinse this out because you don't want Coca-Cola sitting in it. Back to the kitchen, got myself a damp rag to clean all the Coca-Cola out and a dry rag to make sure everything's all nice. Take the damp rag, get in there, make sure everything's all nice and neat. Yes, you'll notice some wetness in there. That's why you have the dry rag. Take that, clean everything up. And you're all set. Now, get a new set of batteries, toss them in, and the clock's gonna work fine. I had to go clean the battery door, and everything else. And then I went and got myself a new set of batteries, make sure they go in the correct way. Put the door back on. Turn the clock back on by hitting the button. And you're ready to go. Not all clocks will fix this easy, but if you have salting in the clock, it's the easiest way to take it out. Let's just clean the rest of this up because there's some salt on the outside. And make sure to check out my videos on how to set the DGT North American or the Wood Expressions Bobby Fischer chest clock on how to set it for a 40 and 2 sudden death in 30 with 5-second increment. Check my YouTube channel. Shouldn't be that hard to find. You might ask yourself, how do I stop my clock from salting out like the one I just showed you? Easiest thing, if you know you're not going to use your clock for a while, take the darn batteries out. If you store them separately, they're not going to salt out, and if they do, they're not in your clock, you don't have to worry about it. Just go to the store, buy a new set of AA batteries, well, at least for this clock, and you should be all set. And if you do have a clock that's unrecoverable, do yourself a favor, go to American Chess Equipment, www.amchesseq.com, to go check out a selection of premium chess clocks.